Welcome to Nuno Solutions. I'm Nuno, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can take SQL data rows and convert them to JSON data. So I'm going to work with the employees table that we've been working with in my other videos, and I have 4 columns: emp ID, emp name, emp phone, and emp email. So let me just create a basic query. We're going to select star from employees. That's just going to show the data that's in there. Currently, we have 7 rows of data, and this is what the data set looks like when it's just rows. So let's convert this over to JSON. If you want to convert this to JSON, what you have to do is you have to use the statement for JSON path, and that right there, if you run it, will automatically convert your data into JSON. I just ran it, and let me just my VS Code, and I'm going to paste that in there, format it just so you can see it a little better. And you can see you start off with a square bracket, which indicates that this is an array, and this is how you indicate an array in JSON. And we have multiple objects separated by a comma, and each of these objects represent a row. So you'll see for object 1, which is technically row 1. Well, let me just pull up the data here so I can show you. So row 1 is emp ID 1, emp name Nuno, and then you see the rest of the information here. So if I go into the JSON, you have the first object that I have highlighted here, and emp ID 1, emp name Nuno, and so on. So you could scroll down, you'll see there's 7 total objects. Now, what if you want to control, like right now, this doesn't have a root element. What if you want to have like a root element? How would you do that? Or what if you don't like the fact that the property names here or emp ID, emp name, you want to make it say employee ID or employee name? To do that, it's actually very easy. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to specify the columns directly: emp name, emp phone, and emp email. I'll just run this real quick, make sure I can pull back data. Okay, it looks. To do this, it's very simple. You just alias this. So we're going to say this as employee ID, and this one I'm going to say as employee name. And now I'm just going to format this a little bit here before I run it, so it's easier for you guys to see it. And I'm going to press Control R to hide the results. And now I'm going to just run this by hitting execute. I'm going to copy the value, go into my VS Code and auto format. And now you can see the data looks very much the same, except the property names for employee, emp ID, they're now employee ID, and emp name is employee name. So that's one way you could control. You have a little bit of control over how the properties render when you output JSON from SQL data. If you want to add a root element to this, so now you can see it's just an array, right? There is no root element. Very easy. What you have to do is just put a comma right after the for JSON path and just type the word root. This is similar to how you do this when you're doing XML, and you're just going to give it a name. I'm just going to call this employees. And let's run that. I'll copy that and I'll just paste it in here. And now you'll see you start off, instead of an array, you start off with an object, which if you collapse it, you can see it's an object. And the object the object name that's in here is an employee's object. And then within it, that's where you have an array, an array of employee objects in here, right? So very easy way to add a root element to your JSON data. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.